everybody, my name is Sherry. Welcome to my stamp studio. So we're back from our trip to Mexico, and I have been working hard. And then yesterday I did film, if you saw the stuff that I got in Mexico and my swaps and stuff, I did do that because it was gonna storm all day, which it did end up storming all day, but I didn't see it because my daughter called early in the morning and she'd been sick the previous week and had been on antibiotics. She'd finished the antibiotics on Sunday, and then she was violently ill yesterday. So I suggested that they go to the hospital in the morning, but they waited and went to the doctor. They got into the doctor early afternoon, and the doctor, of course, said, go to the hospital. So I spent hours and hours. In fact, after the 6-hour mark sitting there, I said, I have now been sitting in this chair longer than I was on any flight to take it on our trip. And you know, when you get on a plane and you know how long the flight is, I don't deal with the time of doing nothing well. So we got home really late last night, and I did nothing other than what I started in the morning because I was just kind of being on call. I cut ribbon. I did cut all the ribbon for the Try It class. So I will get that posted at some point so you can see how great that looks. I started on the embellishments when I got the call that they were going to the hospital. So, you know, mom duty kicks in. So I'm going to film the things today that I was intending to film yesterday. So let's start with, I wanted to remind you that I have a free class. So if you purchase the Thoughtful Journey Suite from me, you get a free class. So I can't remember the cutoff date, in middle of this month, to purchase the suite. You can also just buy the class and get the things you will need the suite to complete your projects, because I won't send you anything that's included in it. But you can go check out this card and this tutorial here, and I think this is the one that has the details, and they're also on my website. Look, a dimensional back. Those things end up everywhere. So there's that. And then today I'm going to do the first project from my May Card Club. We'll talk a little bit about Card Club as we go along. This month we are using the paper Mediterranean Blooms. So it's this suite here. I love, love, love the dies. You will love the dies. But what I really appreciate about this suite, part of my Card Club perk is that you can buy the stamps or the bundle at catalog cost, and I pay tax and shipping and handling for you. But with this particular suite, because a lot of times you don't need the stamps, right? You already have a similar flower or similar words or something that you can substitute. So it's up to the club members if they want to add it. What I really love about this, one, it's super on trend. You go to TJ Maxx, you go to Anthropologie, you go anywhere and you will see the blue tiles, which also are very reminiscent of Mexico and Italy. So if you have travel pictures you want to scrapbook, this is your paper. Lemons could not be any more Italian. Sometimes the way I scrapbook is I took a really good picture, and so then I get this stuff to make the page. But that's fine, right? You end up with a few of your special memories captured, but this is super on trend. So, but lemons and oranges are classic, right? Blue tiles, classic. Obviously, they've been in Italy for hundreds of years. But the other thing that I love about the paper is that the dies will cut out the images on these two. So if you don't want the stamps, you wouldn't need the stamps, and you can hand trim them. So you don't have to have this stamp set if you want to substitute in some other words, because you have plenty of lemons and oranges on the paper to make it work. And normally when I do a club card, I don't show you the dies because when you get them in club, they're pre-cut. But I'm going to show you how these dies work because it's fabulous. So here is the Citrus Blooms stamp set. The stamp set is just oranges. I guess you could color them a little bit different and maybe turn them into lemons, but they're with oranges. And then we've got hello, all the love, you're the best kind of person, and just checking in, and then the little blooms and the accent piece, which we're going to use that. So in my card club, you get, so always on a month when I'm doing Try It, my stuff's a hot mess. I have more of this paper coming, but I wanted to film this. I think the paper comes tomorrow, of course, because why work with my schedule? And so I've got all of the paper for club coming tomorrow, and this is what I'm left working with today because we've been cutting for Try It. But when you do my card club, most months you get a half a packet of cardstock, and it is cut 6 by 12. So you'll get a half a packet of the cardstock. One side has either the blooms or the oranges and the lemons. It's super pretty. And here's the ones that you can cut out. So here's I used the stamp. But if you don't get the stamp, you can cut this one out. It's the exact same as the stamp. And then there's the other die that does this one. So you can do that with the oranges. Or you can hand trim out. I don't think this works the same. No, it only does the oranges. But you can hand trim out the lemons to use those. So we have citrus on one side. And then you flip it over. And we have all the fabulous tile patterns, which I'm definitely going to use this on a Mexico picture or two. But they gave us a really good scrapbook that we can use. So you can see the tiles and just the... In fact, these pieces here, you could add a piece of red. Look, a dimensional back. a piece of red and do something for Memorial Day or 4th of July. So it's a versatile pack of paper. So you get the half a pack of paper. My club is a subscription service, which means that you sign up at PayPal subscriptions. You don't have to have a PayPal account, but they host it for me. And then it auto bills you every month on the same day that you signed up. And so it includes the half a pack of cardstock. It includes a spool of ribbon. And this time you're getting the white diagonal. And then a full package of embellishments, which I do not have because, again, coming tomorrow. This is what's left from cutting up from Try It class. The opal round assortments. So you get a full package of embellishments. And then you get the supplies and envelopes to make 6 cards. We do decorate the envelopes, so you'll see that in a second. So let's get going on the project, and I'll explain a little bit more how it works. So for this one, I'm gonna cut the dies first just so you can see them, and so then I can move my die machine off the table. So the dies have the one that I'm gonna use in a second to cut out that single orange. Then it has some of the blooms and then some leaves. And then these will cut out the flowers of the stamp set. And then the best part about this is this one. So it does a frame. So when you're in club, it already comes pre-cut to you. We did have a little bit of a laugh with people on the incentive trip whose other husbands helped cut, because they showed a new set and there was a groan. It's because there's a definite die that our husbands can see and be like, yeah, I'm not cutting that. So this one goes like this. It has this frame. So we'll cut a frame, and we will use, on the 3 projects we're doing this time, we will use all of these pieces, because if we're going to cut them, we're going to use them. And then this one slides in here. This is actually the piece that we are using on the card. And because of the way these work, it makes it a little bit easier for my husband to stomach the fact that he's cutting all these leaves. I'm going to take a Sharpie and I'm going to mark which direction this goes, because you'd think it'd be easy, right? But every time I mess with it. And this fits inside of there. So you just line all those up. I do want it to be on here straight, in case I decide to use this outside piece. I don't know. It might be too much trouble to do all the number of these that we have to do straight, so we might not use the outside piece. So they fit just like this. And we're just going to stick this over the top. And you can see they run through it all at once. You want to be careful when you do this that none of your dies are overlapping, because a die can cut a die if you run it through. It works best if it's at a slight angle so it doesn't go through speed bump. And then just one pass through, because it's nice and stuck in there. And then you just pop them out. So when it comes to you in club, oftentimes you have to do all the poking. Let me move this out of the way, because we just pull it out of the die. So whatever sticks then is what you're left with. So probably when you get it in club, it's going to look similar to this. Where's my, it's right in front of me. Pop this out. But isn't it fun how it cuts all these out? And then there's all the pieces that are mix and match. So you go get it in club, just like this. So we'll have the frame that we may or may not use. It's kind of large. It really is designed more to be a frame on your actual cut piece. So if you have the designer series paper, I'll see if I can make it work. But this is a full quarter sheet of cardstock, so I may be able to get it on there. But once again, it's how lucky we think we will be cutting those and getting them all straight. And then you have this piece here, which we're not using on this card, but we will use. So in club, you'll just knock those out. My other one they fell out when I did it. I think most of them, yeah, just this one stayed. So sometimes it just depends on how we run it through. So there's that piece that was the middle. And then there's this piece, which is scrap, but we are using it on this particular card. So just pull that out of the middle there. It's a little bit like the Operation game. Stuff is stuck on each other. It's cut. It's just you have to be careful when you pull it out. So this is just scrap, but we're going to use it because that's too much to throw away, right? And then you may have to poke some of those out. We're just going to use half. So that way we only have to cut one per person, but it also works perfectly for the design of this fun fold. So that is how those dies work. And I can't wait to use these other pieces. And then I intend to use maybe some gold or something with the other leaves that are in there. Maybe some blue. I don't remember if we have any blue glimmer paper at the moment. So for this particular card, you can pick whichever piece of the paper that you want. If you didn't get the stamps and you're in club, I highly recommend that you set these two pieces aside that have the oranges and lemons on them, so you'll be able to use those if you didn't get the stamps. So for this one, I went with this piece here, which is the orange blossoms. For our fun fold, we are going to cut this. Yours would be 6 inches, so you're going to get a 2-inch strip. I'm going to cut it 4 and then leave it 12. So we have a 4 by 12 piece, and then you would have a 2-inch scrap to use this on another project, which I think if you're doing Try It, it's a fun little way that I've used this pattern on a Try It class. Then you need to score this, so make sure your cutting blade's out of the way. Pop this open. And then we are going to score it at 3 1/4. Eight and a half. And 11 1/4. So that makes our fun fold. That's all I need this for. Get it out of the way so I have a little bit more space. I'm just going to fold this. It's hard sometimes to see your score marks on super patterned paper, and both sides of this paper tend to be super patterned-y. Take my bone folder and make sure I have some nice crisp edges. So every year with club, I do something a little different. This year is decorating our envelopes. So we do 6 cards. I do 3 designs, and then you get the supplies to make 2 of each. That way you can keep one and give one, because I know a lot of you like to do that. Or you can change the papers, because sometimes I do that. I love to change the papers. So the rest of the supplies for this card would be this, and you would have 2, and then your envelope. You can see I've already done 1 card. So this is going to just get mounted on here to kind of give us a little bit of stability, because this is a, oh no, I see the red. It's never a good sign. And I only ever run out of adhesive when I'm filming. So now I'll have to go find some, or I will just use some Seal Plus. So when you put this on here, this is a 1/4 sheet of cardstock. Make sure that you don't press until you're sure that it's straight, because it's kind of hard to pull up designer series paper. But that looks pretty good. So now it's a little bit more sturdy. So let's do our stamping. We get a piece like this, and then we have a little label. This is from the new Unbounded Beauty dies, and then we have an inside of the card. So I'm just going to stamp with black. You could change if you want to do the inside or the word in a different color, but for ease of what I had on the table, the black works. You don't have to have every color. For this particular club month, it's pretty easy to look at the paper and see what colors that you need, because there's oranges, yellows, blues, and greens. And that's pretty much it. Maybe a brown for the stem. I didn't color the stems brown on this particular card. Again, because of what I had on the table. So we're going to stamp the oranges. Super pretty. And then I have my little hello. I'm going to put on the tab. And then this is the inside of my card. So on it, where's my scrap piece of paper? Here it is. So these would be pretty in blue, but again, I was a little bit lazy. And they don't have to be in blue because I'm going to color I want it to look kind of old and rustic. So you're not going for perfection on this. And then I'm going to use I'm just checking in, I think is what it says. I don't put my labels on any of my stamps ever. So there's that. So let's color this stuff in. We'll start with this since it's sitting here. Oh, my envelope. I laid it here so I wouldn't forget. This is why it might seem like a simple thing to add the envelopes. Trust me, it's not, because I forget all the time. So I'm going to do the same thing on my envelope that I'm doing on the inside of my card. You can see these kind of fit together. There we go. Now we're done with stamping. So let's color this first, just because it's easy. So the hello is going to stay white. You can color it if you want. And then we have this piece here. So let me take my glasses off. It's so much easier. I'm going to start with my yellows, and I went with Lemon Lolly, but you could use any of our yellows to color we're coloring in the orange blossoms. I'm just going to take the brush tip. I'll give it a little swipe through there, and then on this one I'm going to go long ways. So you have till the 10th of the month to join club or to add on. And then here is my dark Lemon Lolly. Do less of it. And then I don't remember what colors I did. And my card's folded up so I can't see the inside of it. Let's do a light pumpkin pie. You could really do any of it. This is my oldest blend. I think it is original to my first order, but it looks awful, but it still works, and I hate to throw it away. I have a backup one for it in case it ever gives up on me, but so far so good. My olive one is pretty much like that too. And then I have Calypso Coral, the dark. I don't have the light one over here. I didn't use it. This is from coloring in my orange. Just gonna give just a little bit of that, and then let's do one of the pumpkin pie. Oh no, I think I already did. I should go back and rewind. I'm gonna do peach pie because I think that was pumpkin. This is a little bit brighter. Now to blend this all together, I'm gonna take my color lifter and I'm literally just gonna blend it. I'm going to use my brush tip. It kind of melds it together. I want the stripy look. I feel like my cards for a while might have a Mexican flair to them. So it will continue as it sits, it will continue to smear a little bit. So you can see that Calypso over here, how dark it looks, but once you hit it with the color lifter. And you could add a stripe of blue if you wanted as well. Again, I didn't have my blue blend over here, so I just went with what I had. Just letting that sit and kind of marry its colors together as it blends. So now let's do our orange. So for the orange, I have my Lemon Lolly, and then I had dark peach pie and dark pumpkin pie. I'm just going to do one of each of these things, and then I'll fast forward that part of the video out. So I started with my light lemon lolly. Swish some color through there. And then I did my dark lemon lolly. Just for a little bit of highlight, kind of where those black stripes are. And then I did my dark peach pie. Very, very, you're barely touching the peach pie. And then I just dotted it, which we're going to do a second on the orange with my pumpkin pie. Then for the leaves, I started with lemon lime twist. So on the bottom, it'll have a little bit of that highlight. And then you can just kind of do all of your leaves a little bit different with the color. So I'm just going to use my bullet tip. And this is the light olive. And then the dark olive. And then for the orange, I started with my peach pie to kind of give it some bright. These are hard to tell which is it which when you've only got the tips. So this is the light peach pie. You want to make sure that you leave part of your orange right here in this part white, just for a little bit of highlight. And make sure on this one that kind of like up here in the flower, you get close to it so the flower kind of pops. So that is peach. And then I have, you could probably color this too so it would look like a peach. That is the dark peach. And then I took the bullet tips, and this is from the video of the designer who made this suite. If you're on my email list, I sent you the video. I think it's on YouTube where you can go see how she designed the paper and how she colored it. So she just dotted her colors on here. And so this is the pumpkin pies that I'm going to dot this with. It helps give a little bit of texture to it. So that is the light pumpkin and the dark pumpkin. And these two colors I dappled everywhere. So you're just tapping. Super easy. And then I did do my stems on this green just because that was the colors I brought over, and it's kind of in a hurry. But you could do your stem brown if you want to. It is brown on the paper. Now I'm going to take the Calypso Coral, and I'm only going to dot a little bit of this and only where there are black dots on my paper. And this helps pull out that shading that's already on the stamp. So that's how it looks before our next step for all three of the things that we're coloring. And now I'm going to take the color lifter, and this time I'm going to use the bullet tip. I'm just going to swirl these around. They'll keep some of the dots and some of it they'll lose as they blend into each other, but it's a really pretty effect. And the color lifter always takes a second for it to move, so you can go on to another. And then I just kind of blended that yellow over. I didn't do a whole lot on those. And then the leaves, again, just blend it. So I'm going to color in the rest, and then we'll finish the orange. The orange isn't quite finished yet. All right, so here's where we are. I've done the exact same thing now to all of the leaves and all of the flowers, and then blended it with this. So now remember, when you use blends, you can always use the lightest color to do the same thing as a color lifter. So I'm going to go to my Lemon Lime Twist. I thought about pulling out a Seafoam or one of the other lighter colors, but this works. Kind of keeps our card bright and cheery. So anywhere where you feel like your lines need to be blended just a little bit more, just pull this in. And it may require then that you go back in one more time with your color lifter, or it might not. I know that you guys are all paying attention when you go shopping. I guarantee you will start to see the orange and the blue everywhere. It's kind of funny. So there now our leaves are nice and bright. I used the color lifter and this. And then for this, I'm going to take my light peach pie. And look how this just brightens it up. Again, it will kind of smear it together because it's the lighter color, but I'm using the brush tip, which smears less than the bullet tip, because the bullet tip you press harder. And make sure not to cover up that last bit of white that we have there. But it's cool how it kind of keeps that pattern underneath it. So you just kind of feel like the orange. I don't know where I got rose from. Lack of sleep, I think, is where I got it from. Oops. When I'm doing this, I don't put all the lids back on in case I need one again. I'm picking them all up now, and all the lids are falling off. So if you're in club and you didn't get the dies, at this point you will hand trim it. I have the die, so I'm going to go over here and I'm going to just run this through. So here's our orange. We'll start putting this together. I'm going to take the inside, look how fun our envelope is. Take the inside of this, and oh yes, I have no adhesive. So you don't need to use Seal Plus. I'm just going to, and you just need a tiny bit. I would not use Seal Plus when I mounted this to the back of that, the back panel, because if you got it on crooked, it wouldn't come off. So here's the inside of our card. It closes like this. Then you are going to take your frame, lie it in here. Not this way. Open this little panel back up, and we're going to sandwich it in between here. So you just need to trim it so it fits to this. So just grab your snips. And just snip it apart. And then you'll have one for your other card. And again, this Seal Plus would not be my adhesive for choice for this because I get one shot. So you're going to start with putting this, because I want this to have a little bit of movement, so I didn't glue any of it down. Just lay it in here. Make sure it's all nice and straight. And then just pull this back over the top. Now it will close like this. So remember our little scrappy bit? That is this. There's two options that you have. We have the scrappy bit here, which when it's all laid on everything, it looks enough like leaves that it doesn't matter. Or actually with this, you could cut it a little bit smaller, and then you would have some spare leaves, because if both of them were cut smaller, you could use spare leaves from up here and spare leaves from down here. But I wanted to see if I could make this work, and it worked. So you want to make sure you snip it someplace where it's not going to have a jagged edge. So let's do this. And that. It just gets us a little highlight of olive. Let's stick this. Where's my highlight sticky Seal Plus? Here. And then remember, you have ribbon and embellishments. We use lots of embellishments normally on a card. Like I would probably go 7 on this, because really to be seen it needs a lot, except I don't have very many until my order comes in 2 days. So we have our white ribbon. I am going to take my olive blend, and you just need little pieces. This ribbon colors really well because it's got that fun stripe in the middle of it. You do want to do both sides, because the top side, see how it catches a darker color, but then the back looks bad, and you're going to see both sides of the ribbon. So get a olive piece. Isn't that pretty? Do not look at the tip. I told you these are my old ones. Blends last a very long time. So here is our olive piece. And then I want an orange piece. You can do any of the colors. I'm going to go, I don't even remember what I used on the last one. I'm going to do pumpkin pie. You could almost do just the back side and let that show through. Maybe I'll do that on this one. I'll just make sure this has a nice good coat back here. Gives a little bit of interest and difference to our ribbon. Oh yeah, that's pretty. So that's our pumpkin pie ribbon. So when you have this white ribbon, you have whatever color you need. It does come in a 2-pack. The other one is a petal pink, and I'm saving that for a club month in a couple of months. So you're just getting the white and club, whoops. And then you do need a white piece. You could do yellow, you could do blue, any of the colors in the paper. I think 3 is enough. So I stopped there. And again, you know, I didn't have blue on the table, so that's why I don't have any blue on my card. So I'm gonna take my, my Seal Plus. And I'm gonna put some right here, just to kind of tack that ribbon down. So on some of them, I really like the way that looks. But when you do a ribbon like that, you'll want to kind of flip it. And on the other one, I kind of thread it through here, which you can do or not do. It kind of makes it look like it's all growing on a trellis if you do it this way. It kind of marries it all together. And the nice thing here, we're not tying a bow. So you can make this so both of our stripy sides show. It kind of does it on that one too. It loses a little bit because I colored both sides. To get this, I colored the back side first, which I didn't do that on the other ones because, you know, you just assume I will do the front first. And then again with this, I didn't press hard until I got it all on there and decided that I liked it. And then with the white, there is again a front and a back, and you'll see it when you get the ribbon. If you are doing the Try It class, you'll get to see the ribbon before Card Club because that will be in the mail before that. So then before I do all this, I'm going to lay this on here and make sure that I like the, yep, that looks good. And then to hold this all together, especially because I have Seal Plus, you want to make sure if you put adhesive on this that it doesn't go over the side because we're not putting it all on the card. But this will also help seal this ribbon in here. And now I can press it down. I didn't press it down before. 4 should be good. This is why I have dimensional backs everywhere. Sometimes I'm tempted to just buy the dimensional sheets, but I think they still end up with the backing. If you want to see the rest of the orange being colored in, I always do those on my Instagram because I can speed it up, but then you can see how we got the orange totally colored to this point. So stick that there. So see, if you're just using adhesive, which you could, make sure that you don't have any place where you're going to glue your card together. And let's stick these on here. And then let's grab our embellishments. So like I said, I'm going to do 5. I would probably do 7 if I had lots. This is all I have left until my order comes tomorrow. I didn't want to expedite everything. And I didn't really think it through that I would need something for club and for this when I did my order at 5 o'clock in the morning while we were on vacation. Lots of orders. So I'm going to do, they come in 2 sizes, in the blue, the clear, and the lemon lolly. I only have small blue left and large of the other 2 because of the way that I cut them, because if you're in Try It class, you're getting one of each color. But it's too hard when you do Try It class to guarantee which size of them you get. I try, but it gets a little 1, 2, 3, 4. We need 1 more. Let's do another yellow. So here is your card. I really like the way this ribbon, so I like this whole card better because I like that ribbon. Here's my other one. See, it's a standard color. I think I did use peach on that one. You can use whichever color you have. So if you're interested in Card Club, oh, and on this one I speckled it. I didn't speckle the other one. I think I got it dirty. On the trip, Shelly, the founder of Stampin' Up, stamped in. She likes the spritz method too because we like to cover up our little fingerprints. So here you go. If you're interested in Club, head to my website. If you're watching on YouTube, there will be a link down below the video that you can click on. Join my email list when you're on my website, and then you'll always know what's coming. If you're in Club, you have till the 10th to add on this bundle. And if you have any questions, let me know. Have a great day. Bye.